The largest 24-hour temperature swing on record happened in Montana, 103 degrees in a single day. On January 14th to 15th, 1972, the town of Loma went from -54 degrees Fahrenheit to +49 degrees Fahrenheit, thanks to a powerful Chinook wind roaring off the Rockies. That's a world record. And that's the Mountain West, a flood that emptied an inland sea, a basin where rain flows to neither ocean, mountains that rose so fast they have no foothills. Here are 12 facts that prove the American Mountain West is still under construction. Fact number 12. The flood that carved a canyon. About 14,500 years ago, one of the largest floods in Earth's history reshaped the Mountain West. Ancient Lake Bonneville covered much of modern-day Utah. It was massive, deeper than Lake Michigan, stretching across 20,000 square miles. Then, its natural dam at Red Rock Pass gave way. Over 1,000 cubic miles of water released in a catastrophic torrent. The flood carved the Snake River Canyon hundreds of feet deeper in a matter of weeks. The Great Salt Lake and the Bonneville Salt Flats, they're just the puddles left behind. But that ancient flood shaped more than canyons. It set the stage for one of the most dramatic mountain ranges on the planet. Fact number 11. The mountains without foothills. The Grand Tetons in Wyoming are one of the youngest mountain ranges in North America, and they look it. Most mountain ranges have foothills. The Tetons have nothing. You're standing on flat valley floor, then suddenly 7,000 feet of vertical granite is just there. The Teton Fault has accumulated nearly 30,000 feet of vertical displacement, shooting the mountains up, while Jackson Hole dropped like an elevator. They rose so fast, erosion hasn't had time to soften them. The Mountain West doesn't do gradual. But the Tetons are just sitting on the surface. What's happening underneath is even stranger. Fact number 10. The continental scar. The Snake River Plain in Idaho isn't a river valley. It stretches across southern Idaho as a volcanic scar left by hotspot activity beneath the North American plate. The cause? The Yellowstone hotspot. As the North American plate drifted southwest over this stationary plume of magma, it left a trail of ancient calderas like a blowtorch dragged across sheet metal. That hotspot is now parked under Yellowstone, where its current caldera measures 30 by 45 miles. Scientists monitor it constantly. The Mountain West isn't just shaped by ancient forces. Some of them are still active. And that active geology isn't just volcanic. The very crust of the Mountain West is being torn apart. Fact number 9. The continental corduroy. Nevada's distinctive landscape of parallel mountain ranges and valleys is called basin and range. It exists because the Earth's crust is being pulled apart like taffy. The region has stretched by up to 100% of its original width. That stretching caused massive blocks of rock to tilt like books on a shelf, some tipping up to form mountains, others dropping to form valleys. With over 300 named mountain ranges in Nevada alone, this pattern is still actively stretching today. The Mountain West is getting wider as you watch this. That stretching created the landscape, but it also created something that shouldn't be possible. Fact number 8. The hydrological black hole. In Wyoming, the Great Continental Divide does something remarkable. It splits. The divide is supposed to be a single line. Rain on one side flows to the Atlantic, rain on the other flows to the Pacific. Simple. But in southern Wyoming, the divide forks into two ridges that encircle a vast depression called the Great Divide Basin. Rain or snow that falls here flows to neither ocean. It just disappears, evaporates or sinks into alkaline playas. No outlet, no escape. a true hydrological black hole trapped on the roof of the continent. That water that vanishes, it's trapped on geology that's still being shaped. And what's left of the ancient lake system is now becoming a crisis. Fact number 7, the toxic dust bowl. The Great Salt Lake is a remnant of Lake Bonneville, the same lake that unleashed that catastrophic flood 14,500 years ago. Since settlement began, the Great Salt Lake has lost an estimated 73% of its water. Humans diverted its tributary rivers for agriculture and cities. Now the lake bed is exposed. Here's the problem. That exposed lake bed contains arsenic. Scientists warn continued shrinkage could expose millions to toxic dust storms. What started as a water crisis is becoming an air quality emergency. The Mountain West's geology is still shifting, and humans are accelerating the change. But humans haven't just drained the Mountain West. In some places, they've dug so deep, they've changed the geology itself. Fact number 6. The man-made Grand Canyon. Near Salt Lake City, there's a hole so massive it's visible from the International Space Station, the Bingham Canyon Mine. Miners have extracted over 19 million tons of copper from this pit. They've removed over 6 billion tons of rock, destabilizing the Earth itself. In 2013, a massive landslide triggered 16 small earthquakes. The landslide itself was so huge that seismic sensors picked up its rumble. The pit is now 2.5 miles wide and 3/4 of a mile deep, the largest man-made excavation on the planet. And it's still getting deeper. That's what happens when you dig down in the Mountain West. But what happens when you try to go through it? Fact number 5, the tunnel in the sky. The Eisenhower Johnson Memorial Tunnel in Colorado sits at 11,158 feet, the highest point on the entire U.S. interstate system. It was built to bypass the high, snow-exposed Loveland Pass and provide a safer, more reliable way for interstate traffic to cross the Continental Divide. At that altitude, car engines burn fuel inefficiently and produce dangerous carbon monoxide. The tunnel requires massive ventilation systems just to keep the air breathable. The Mountain West's elevation is so extreme that humans have to engineer their way through it just to breathe. The Mountain West forces strange engineering solutions, but sometimes the geology creates something that shouldn't exist at all. Fact number 4, the dunes in the mountains. In the heart of Colorado's Rockies, you'll find the tallest sand dunes in North America. Great Sand Dunes National Park features dunes rising 750 feet from the valley floor. Sand dunes in the middle of the mountains. It looks like someone dropped the Sahara into the Rockies. Opposing winds push sand across the San Luis Valley toward the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. When the wind hits those peaks, it drops the sand. For thousands of years, the same patterns have been building dunes against a mountain wall, and they're still building. Every year, the dunes shift and grow. A desert landscape being constructed by mountain geography right now. But the strangest thing hiding in the Mountain West isn't a landform, it's a life form. Fact number 3, the ancient organism. In Utah, there's a grove of quaking aspen called Pando. It looks like a forest. It's actually a single living organism. Every tree is connected by a massive underground root system. They're not individual trees, they're all clones, sprouting from the same ancient root network. Pando weighs an estimated 6,000 metric tons and is recognized as one of the most massive living organisms on Earth, made up of a single, interconnected clonal root system. Its root system is possibly over 10,000 years old, taking root at the end of the last ice age. For millennia, natural fire kept Pando healthy. Now, fire suppression and deer grazing are killing it. We're protecting it to death. Pando has survived thousands of years of Mountain West geology, but there's a formation nearby that defies explanation entirely. Fact number 2. The tower that shouldn't exist. Devil's Tower in Wyoming is one of the most iconic formations on Earth. It rises 867 feet from the surrounding landscape, a vertical stone tower standing apart from the rolling prairie and pine-covered hills around it. The largest example of columnar jointing in the world. But here's the thing. Geologists still aren't entirely sure how it formed. The leading theory is that it's the uneroded core of an ancient volcano, left behind after softer outer layers weathered away. But that's just a theory. Even scientists who study the Mountain West are still figuring it out. And then there's the landscape that proves the Mountain West isn't finished being built. Fact number 1. The fissure that wall erupt again. In Idaho, you can visit a landscape that looks like the surface of the moon. Craters of the Moon National Monument sits on the Great Rift, a 52-mile-long crack in the Earth's crust. The lava fields are so young and barren that NASA used them to train Apollo astronauts for lunar geology. The last eruption was only about 2,100 years ago, a blink in geologic time. And this isn't an extinct volcanic field, it's a dormant one. Scientists agree it will erupt again. The only question is, when? From a 103-degree temperature swing in a single day to a volcanic field that will almost certainly erupt again, the Mountain West isn't history. It's still under construction.